This unstoppable force came to an object that would not yield. The city of Tyre. Built half a mile off the coast of what would become Lebanon, Tyre was an island fortress with walls 150 feet high. Its resistance would test the Macedonians to the limit. Since the Persians would not come to him, Alexander would go to the Persians. His engineers embarked on an unprecedented feat. A causeway 220 feet wide extending to the fortress. Caenus's men cut trees on the slopes nearby and drove 2 rows of trunks into the channel. Between the rows, they piled huge stones. As the Macedonians advanced toward the island, the Tyrians poured down a constant hail of rocks, arrows, and hot sand. Armor might deflect arrows, but the sand worked its way through. It was so painful that men dove into the water for relief, only to drown under the weight of their armor. Alexander's engineers erected 2 towers as high as the walls of Tyre, covered in animal hides. From atop them, Caenus directed his troops to return fire and clear the battlements. Ever improvising, the Macedonians built weapons of artillery whose tension was provided by strips of twisted leather. The Tyrians sent a fire ship against the Macedonian towers and set them ablaze. Hundreds of men perished, but the siege went on. When they finally reached the walls, galleys with iron rams battered an opening. Caenus and his men stormed the city. The slaughter was savage. After 6 months of siege, the Macedonians showed no mercy. More than 8,000 Tyrians were executed. The rest, 30,000 people, were sold into slavery. Persia fell. Still, the Macedonians pushed ever eastward. Finally, in India, drenched by monsoons, 8 years and 3,000 miles from Macedonia, they could go no farther. They had had enough. One man plucked up the courage to speak. Caenus.
Sir, I do not propose to speak as an officer, but for the common soldier. My age, the repute which by your favour I enjoy amongst my comrades, and the unhesitating courage I have displayed in all danger and difficulties, give me the right to declare what I believe the soundest policy. Only a few from that great army are left, a small remnant, broken in health, their old vigour and determination gone. Every man of them longs to see his parents again, if they still survive, or his wife, or his children. All are yearning for the familiar earth of home, hoping pardonably enough to live to revisit it, no longer in poverty and obscurity, but famous and enriched by the treasure you have enabled them to win. Sir, if there is one thing above all others a successful man should know, it is when to stop.
Caenis was cheered by his men. The tide had turned against endless conquest. Grudgingly, Alexander relented. The Macedonians turned for home. In time, a new army from a younger empire would sweep over Macedonia, the Romans. But even they stood in awe of the Macedonians. A Roman general who fought them never forgot.
He later often confessed to his friends at Rome that he had never seen anything more alarming and terrifying than the Macedonian phalanx.
In the service of Alexander, Caenis had helped mold the largest empire the world had yet seen, and the greatest army. He himself had risen far through the ranks, and traveled farther than any soldier before him. He never saw his home again. On the way back to Macedonia, he, like Alexander, died. Befitting his rank, he was cremated with all the ceremony possible in an alien land.